Good morning, and thank you for joining me. I hope this presentation finds you safe and well. My name is Sarah Bellotti, and I'm the head of the Mount Mill Hill International. Today, I'd like to talk you through the COVID secure measures that we have put in place ahead of a full return to boarding in the autumn term. In this presentation, we will look at the following topics: the present situation in the UK related to COVID-19, arrival procedures and quarantine for Mill Hill boarders in the autumn term, the COVID-19 preventative measures that will be in place both at school and in our boarding houses, how we as a school will react to potential COVID-19 outbreak, and our pupil well-being. Let's start by looking at the situation in the UK. When schools were asked to close their doors on the 20th of March, the alert level in the UK was set at 5. We slowly and safely moved to level 4, which meant that our transmission of the virus was still high or rising, and social distancing continued. On the 19th of June, the country moved from level 4 to where we find ourselves today, at level 3. Level 3 means that the epidemic is still in general circulation, but that transmission is no longer high or rising. Level 3 has seen the gradual reopening of nearly all sectors of the economy, along with a gradual relaxation of restrictions and the introduction of travel corridors between the UK and other countries. Our NHS test and trace system is up and running, and we now have clear government guidance about the measures that need to be in place to create a safe environment in our school. We firmly believe that returning to school is vital, not only for a child's education, but also for their well-being, and we are therefore preparing for a full reopening of the Mill Hill School Foundation in the autumn term. We currently have 2 arrival dates for our boarders. Boarders arriving from countries where there is no travel corridor, also known as an air bridge, with the UK, will be required to quarantine for 14 days. We look forward to welcoming them to school on Sunday, the 24th of August. The 14-day quarantine period will take place at school for no additional fee. Boarders arriving from countries where there is a travel corridor and will therefore not be required to quarantine for 14 days, we look forward to welcoming them to school on Sunday, the 6th of September. For any boarder who is unable to be present in class at the start of the autumn term, whether due to visa delays, flight availability, etc., we will ensure provision of the curriculum is available. We advise that this provision is aimed at being as a temporary measure in place to ensure your child does not fall behind in any way in their studies due to their delayed arrival. Our boarders have 2 ways of getting to the school from the airport. They can be met and brought to school by one of our school organised taxis. All of our taxi drivers have a valid DBS certificate. They can be met and brought to school by their educational guardian. Whether taxi or guardian collection, the person collecting will be expected to wear a face covering at all times and to provide hand sanitizer in the car. On arrival at school, all boarders and boarding staff will be tested for coronavirus. Once at school, the 14-day quarantine period at school will provide our boarders with a great opportunity to get to know their housemaster, housemistress, houseparent and matrons and other boarding staff. They will be accommodated in one of the school's boarding houses. And presuming that your child has tested negative for coronavirus, their 14-day quarantine programme will include a full and varied induction programme delivered both in person and online. The programme will include an introduction to boarding life, team building and ice-breaking games, social activities to ease your child into boarding life at Mill Hill as smoothly as possible. Should your child test positive for coronavirus, they will enter a period of self-isolation in their boarding house. House staff will be on hand to provide full medical care and pastoral support during this time, along with regular visits throughout the day, delivering meals and other provisions to them. If boarders would prefer to spend their 14 quarantine period 14-day quarantine period with their educational guardian, family member or host family, this is absolutely fine. We will group our pupils carefully to minimise contact between individuals, social distancing. Pupils will belong to both a household huddle and to a bubble in school. Pupils will be expected to socially distance at 1 metre plus, in line with government's guidelines, with all pupils outside of their groupings and with those inside their groups wherever possible. Staff will maintain a distance of 2 metres from each other and from pupils. School areas will be designated to specific groups where possible, and in busy areas within the school, a one-way system will be implemented and we will stagger break times and meal times. All pupils will have their temperatures taken at the start and the end of each day. Face coverings will not be compulsory at school. However, pupils are welcome to wear them if they wish to do so. Over the last few weeks, it has become commonplace in England to see more people wearing face coverings in public. They are now compulsory on both public transport and in shops. It is important that your child brings a supply of reusable and washable fabric face coverings with them. We will also have a free supply of face coverings in school. We will ensure our pupils and staff clean their hands thoroughly and frequently at the newly installed sanitising stations around the school. We will promote good respiratory hygiene by promoting the catch it, kill it, bin it approach, and posters will be displayed around the school to act as a reminder. We will introduce enhanced cleaning schedules for all areas of the school and boarding houses. Pupil and staff will be reminded regularly about the importance of physical distancing. Our boarding permissions with regard to overnight leave requests, signing in and out of campus, and visitors to the boarding house will all be linked to the UK Government coronavirus alert levels, as you can see from the diagram on this slide. As the UK Government coronavirus alert levels are relaxed, so too will rules and arrangements for our borders. We currently find ourselves at alert level 3, which means our pupils will be able to go on local trips and take part in on-site activities. Pupils won't be able to take public transport and will only be able to stay off-site with either their guardian or a family member. Parents and guardians may visit, but physical distancing must take place and visits will be limited to the house garden. For parents or guardians dropping off pupils on arrival day, we will hold a socially distanced welcome cream tea in the house garden, where we will have the opportunity to meet the house staff. At this stage in the pandemic, it would be very unlikely for a complete national lockdown to take place again. What we might see in the future is a lockdown at local level in areas where there is a spike in the virus. If this were the case in London, the boarding houses would remain open to our pupils and we would ensure that they had access to the curriculum. Looking ahead, beyond September, our boarding houses will also remain open for pupils to stay at school for the autumn term exeat weekend and October half term. This will be offered at an additional fee, which will be communicated to you in due course. As we will be taking temperatures regularly, we will pick up on any suspected cases very quickly. We will engage with the government's track and trace system, as well as engaging with Public Health England and take advice from local health authorities. We will arrange for an NHS coronavirus test to be administered to all pupils in the affected huddle as soon as possible. Pupils with a positive test result will isolate in a single occupancy room, though it might be the case that 2 boarders showing symptoms will isolate in a twin room. Isolating pupils with no symptoms, i.e. pupils in a huddle where someone has displayed symptoms, will be required to stay in their boarding areas, but will still be able to use shared spaces with other symptomatic self-isolating boarders. Self-isolating pupils will, where possible, alongside their classmates, be present in the classroom via a digital platform, so that they can fully access lessons and have contact both with their teachers and classmates. We will ensure that any staff members who have coronavirus symptoms or who have someone in their household who does, do not attend school. The safety and well-being of our pupils is, and always will be, our #1 priority. We have an on-site medical centre, which is open 6 days a week from 8 AM to 6 PM. 24-hour cover is provided by both resident and on-call nurses. The nurses work closely with housemasters and house staff to ensure that every pupil's individual physical, mental and emotional needs are identified and are met. At school, teachers and tutors work alongside the house teams to monitor every pupil's well-being, and they report back to senior pastoral staff if there are any areas of specific concern. We also liaise closely with parents and guardians to ensure that appropriate care is delivered. Boarders are supported by a wide range of services, including referral to specialist medical practitioners where necessary. Boarders are registered with a local GP practice, and 2 doctors, 1 male and 1 female, hold 3 surgeries in school each week. Emphasis will be placed on personal, mental and emotional well-being, and pupils will be encouraged to learn to identify their own healthcare needs. The work of the nurses is underpinned by robust policies and procedures, including the safeguarding and confidentiality where appropriate. There are 3 school counsellors who are based in our wellbeing wing, who will be on hand to help with any pupils who require additional emotional support. Referral is via housemasters or the house team, or teaching staff, or by the pupils themselves. Counsellors communicate regularly with parents and guardians and pastoral staff. Our new foundation head of boarding, along with all house staff, is committed to using Boarders' voice, including the Boarders' Council, to feed into supporting and promoting the well-being of boarders throughout the foundation. We are planning a post-COVID pastoral recovery programme intended to support well-being, reintroduce routines and provide a safe space for discussion, and provide wellbeing activities and opportunities for boarders with a focused and personalised pastoral support system. This brings us to the end of the presentation. I hope the measures that I have discussed today provide reassurances to you and show our commitment to creating a safe school environment in which our pupils can live and learn. If you have any questions about anything that you have heard today, or if you require any further information, please do not hesitate to contact our admissions team, who will be delighted to help you. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we very much look forward to welcoming everyone back into the foundation in September.